Hello, this is Father Michael Nasser coming to you from St. Nicholas Orthodox Church here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, with this week's midweek reflection. And this week I'm reflecting on a phrase that, if I had to be honest with you, I really dislike. And that phrase is perception is reality. Every time I hear perception is reality, what it sounds to me like is don't worry about what really is, work on putting forward an image of what is, and let's focus on the image. Now, forgetting that for a moment in terms of how important or unimportant it is to make appearances over actual reality, the idea that perception is reality has some really wonderful opportunities to it. We're living at a time when lots of folks are suffering in lots of ways, mainly psychologically, emotionally, and especially spiritually. A lot of suffering going on in all those dimensions, let alone some others, but really those. Think about the enormous upheaval on religiosity in our culture. Just the steep decline of people involved in religious life. Then think about the really the epidemic of depression and anxiety going on in our culture. So lots of suffering going on. And if you think about that phrase, perception is reality, put aside that whole thing about how perception is so important. But if perception is reality in this sense, that somebody's perception can be or really is their reality, then by changing one's perception, not perception of them by other people, their own perception of their own life, their own personhood, their environment, their relationships, the world, society, that when we change our perception, we do change our reality. Perception is reality. In this sense, I really like that phrase. I love the fact that somebody's perception is their reality. And therefore, if we can change that perception, we can change our own reality. What a wonderful opportunity, because we could talk about and bemoan all the things going wrong with the world and why this is bad and that's bad, and especially in an election cycle, which sort of heightens all the things that are wrong with the world and our country and our state and our city, all those things. The ability to change reality simply by changing perception. So what kind of things might we do? We might change our perception on people that disagree with us. We might not agree with them anymore, but seeing them, changing our perception to see them as people. As flawed as they might be, just like we're flawed, they're flawed too, but seeing them in a human way, seeing them not just through the lens of our disagreement, but seeing them in their totality as a human being. So think about just that one thing, that if we changed our perception of the people we struggle with, maybe it's people in our families that disagree with us politically, maybe they're political figures that we see on the news that really just get us all uptight, whoever it might be, or what those relationships might be, by changing our perception of how we see those people. You don't have to change what they do in terms of their values or their beliefs or anything, just changing your perception and seeing them as human, as a son or daughter of God. Think of how that changes our reality. And that's just one example of how perception is reality. We change our perception, we change our reality. I'll give you just one more. Think about the difficulties in your life. They might be huge, they might be traumatic, whatever they happen to be. If you can change your perception, not by necessarily negating the negative things that are going on, but just seeing more of the positive, by simply counting our blessings. That changes our perception of the difficult things, and when we change our perception, we change our reality. So I hope we can all think about that phrase in the best sense of it, perception is reality, and think about how each one of us can change our perceptions to change our view of what reality is. I think we'd be a lot less anxious, we'd be a lot less depressed, a lot more hopeful, and a lot more at peace if we saw reality more as it really is, as God has made it to be. Yeah, a lot of things are wrong with the world, but God is still God. God has still done for us and is doing for us on a moment by moment basis so many wonderful things, But because we don't perceive them, our reality doesn't include those things. So if we can broaden our perception, see God at work as God is at work in the world today, then our reality changes along with that. I hope we can all work on that a little bit. I hope that's helpful to you. If so, please share it with your friends by whatever means you'd like. And God willing, we'll see you in next week's video.